Hi there. Welcome. Thanks for tuning in today. We're going to go over just a short discussion on how to teach a Write and Build class from my newest book, Write and Build Creative Writing. My name is Linda Phelps, and here we go. This is me. I'm an author and a teacher and a Lego brick fan. My mission is to help children discover better self esteem, become kinder, more generous members of our society. My books serve as a valuable resource to foster personal growth and positive values in young readers. And this is my family. I've been working in education since 1994 when I was pregnant with my oldest son, Ethan. I'm a mom and a stepmom to five amazing now adult kids. My husband Dave is a lifelong Lego brick collector. When we first met 16 years ago, I was floored by the amount of Lego that he had, truly floor to ceiling. So I'm a big believer in doing what you love. So in 2014, we endeavored to open up a Lego education center for kids to come in and just play by the hour or have birthday parties or just whatever. And it was an amazing experience. We did that from 2014 until COVID hit. So there in the picture, that's an actual picture of our first center on just one wall of our Lego bricks. It was just really fun. We taught Lego education for preschoolers on up through high school, really, but more so to sixth to eighth grade. We did a lot of classes with kids, and that was summer school, holiday camps, and in-class field trips where we would actually go into the classroom. So just a lot of fun and experience watching kids really open up with Legos. Um, Kids that might not be very social. They're autistic on the spectrum, but over and over again we saw kids just really one calm down, focus, um, become happier, and have more self-esteem with working with us over the years. The homeschool curriculum, that's really where the beginnings of this lesson today came from. Working with the homeschoolers was really a lot of fun and a great experience. So we'll talk about that. So here we are. This is the Write and Build Creative Writing Prompts and Class Outlines using Lego bricks. So this would be, just your own Lego bricks. In the book, we have 12 classes, and actually it breaks out to about 19 separate builds that you can use any way that you want to. They can each one be standalone. I think once you see it, once you understand this process, you'll be able to use your own creativity around all this. Every class has teacher notes to explain exactly what you need for that class, including the bricks that you need for each build. Colors generally don't matter, and the bricks in these cases are just basic bricks, meaning 1x1 bricks on up to maybe 2x8, but generally just 2x4s and 2x2s. So really basic, truly basic bricks. I provide you with all the class outlines. We discuss how to set up the classroom, including a podium kind of a thing. I have a great rules page that I think that you'll enjoy using over and over again. Step-by-step building instructions for each build, and then the story building time we'll go over, and then also presentation notes. So in the center here, I have the each chapter. So we have Castle, and then that folds into Queen Elizabeth, her dogs, a sort of really fun build. The UK flag I thought would be a fun thing to talk about. Then we go into Egyptian pyramid, and then volcano and dinosaur, going to the park, wildflowers, where we actually kind of learn about some of the more common wildflowers that kids can see. And then we go into superheroes like Spider-Man, um, and fish tank. There are 3 different fish in that build. And then coral. You can talk about coral in the oceans. And then the last one for the finale is a ninja tournament. So you can see it on that front cover there. We've got the black and the red ninjas, and then Sensei is actually a mosaic build. So totally fun. I think that kids will love that. And then here's, the benefits of working with Legos might seem obvious, but in this case, using it as a write and build, the kids in the beginning have an opportunity to either draw their storyline. They don't necessarily have to write right away. But when they know that they can work with Legos, they're a lot less reluctant to write. I know a lot of us have had students that it's pulling teeth to get them to use a pencil. So I think that you'll enjoy that part of this a lot. It's also stress relieving for kids. There's a lot of, here in California, we've had a lot of wildfires. There's been other things all around the United States and the world for that matter. Working with Lego helps with trauma, and it's very healing. So stress relief has been proven. Focus and concentration, like I mentioned with your ADHD kids or kids that are on the spectrum, it's awesome. Fine motor skills, of course. Overcoming shyness is the thing that I had noticed again and again working with kids with this sort of a platform. Because with this, eventually they present their story. And they get applauded by their peers. And pretty soon they really just open up and they're not shy anymore. And they can become the most bold kids in the classroom. It's awesome to watch. Social skills, of course, that's just always ongoing for us. Self-esteem, creativity, and imagination is just really underlying imagination. It's fun. And then STEAM being, in this case, we add an A to STEM. So that's science, technology, engineering, art, and math. Because I think that art's important as well. So here's some teacher notes. For this class, we're going to use Queen Elizabeth as our example class. So I hope you enjoy that. So teacher notes, again, we have 13 exciting themes to choose from, and they can be broken down into different sections, as I mentioned. So your basic class outline is number one, you can choose either I have book suggestions for each chapter, but truly just use what you want. If you have a favorite book about Queen Elizabeth, awesome. So read a story and or discuss the take-home sheet. So on the next slide, I have an example of the take-home sheet for the Queen Elizabeth class that they can take home and show their parents what they learned. So it's really a nice thing that you can just print, done. You don't have to make up your own thing. But you can just simply hold that up and go over it with the kids, and that's enough. You don't have to read the story if you don't have time, or, just be creative how you want to. But these are just my suggestions. Also, it's really gets them going to watch a Lego stop motion movie on YouTube. There are really a lot to choose from. I have one on one of the slides here that I'll play for you by one of my favorite YouTube creators. He consistently has clean content, so you're going to be safe to show it to the kids, but definitely pre-watch it yourself. But I have found that the kids seeing how the Legos are used in those stop motions gives them ideas on how they can build their story with the Legos that they have. A lot of fun. Number 3 is build the themed project. So using Queen Elizabeth as our example, you'll see there in the middle, we build Queen Elizabeth. That's our themed project. And then they can use that in the little puppies in their story that they create. So their story could be anything. It could be the castle from the chapter before. They can just go to the park. They can do whatever they want in their story, but they can use her as a prop. The storyboard worksheets I'll show you, where I sketch out the beginning, middle, and end. There's lines that they can draw if they need to use stick figures, or they can write their story. And we've got some ideas on transitional wording to help them get going. And then the story build time, I suggest about 30 to 45 minutes, maybe with some light music playing for relaxation, and go over the rules about don't throw them, don't put them in your mouth, that kind of thing. But let them build their story on a larger 32 by 32 base plate, so they have a lot of room. And then presentation time. So we'll go over that too. 7 is a note if you have older kids or advanced kids, like maybe you've been doing this class for a while and the kids getting a little easy for them. You can challenge them by, instead of providing the one big base plate, give them 3 smaller 16 by 16 base plates that they would have built their, like Queen Elizabeth on, the smaller ones, to be the beginning, middle, and end of their story, and just let them use a limited number of bricks to tell their story. And that's a real challenge. So that's kind of the outline of how I've done this. And so over here on the white sheet is the teacher notes for that particular class. So you can see there are the exact bricks that you need to build the queen. The colors really don't matter. They might want different colored eyes. The dog, there's, the plates that they're the pieces that you need for that. And then the UK flag, if you choose to do that, you need those 1 by 1 bricks to do the mosaic. And then there's the suggestion again for the book and the take-home flyers. The storyboards will be provided, and there you go. That's the outline. That's a teacher note example. So move on over here to the next slide. These are optional add-ons. Again, this is the picture of the book that I had chosen for this particular class. The white sheet on the other side, that's the take-home sheet. That gives you an idea what that looks like. Just some basic stuff. So you can see that if you were limited on time, you could just go over that with them, have them read it to you, discuss it, maybe find a video on YouTube about Queen Elizabeth, whatever you want to do. If you've broken this up into maybe 3 or 4 sections, you could use one whole class just to learn about Queen Elizabeth, and then this video in the middle here isn't going to play. So that is a YouTube by somebody named Michael Hickok, and I'll put his name in the show notes so you can look him up. But if you were to just do a Lego stop motion for a particular subject, you'll find one. There is actually a really fun one done for Queen Elizabeth that they use black and white coloring, and it's more historical. It's just a little bit slow, but there's some great ones out there. So next is our classroom setup. You want to create a podium. The way your classroom would be set up with a podium. Obviously, we may not all have that kind of a podium, but you get the idea. So what I initially did with this is I just had a smaller table with 2 chairs in case they were really shy and I needed to sit with them. Sometimes that's a big deal, So I'd sit with them, and if they were just really couldn't speak, I would interview them. But they would sit in front of the class to tell their story. So that's the basic setup with the kids in your normal classroom setup, or you can do it in a circle, a horseshoe shape, whatever's comfortable for you, depending on the number of students you have. At each desk, you're going to give the kids their build instructions that you photocopied from the book. They each get 1 16 by 16 base plate, and then the listed bricks that are in the teacher notes. So each student's going to get that probably a sandwich baggie full of those bricks and then later, after they've built that, because it can get away from you quickly if you give them everything at once. When they're done with that, they can raise their hand and let you know. Then you give them the storyboard worksheet, or maybe that's a whole other class, the time to write their story. And so once they've written their story, let's see, I actually have something here. Once they've written their story, this is what the story sheet looks like: the beginning, middle, and end. And so on the board, you might discuss with them around how to write a story, the beginning, middle, and end. So one of the teachers that I work with, this was her awesome idea. She talked with the kids and they had ideas. How does a story generally start? Well, a lot of them raised their hands and said, well, a long, long time ago, or a long time ago, or once upon a time, or one day, so have them give, and then leave that on the board so they can refer back to it as they're writing. And the middle could be suddenly, exclamation point, or but then, comma, before they knew it, da da da. So just giving them some ideas to get that middle juicy part going of their story. And then the conclusion, the end of it would be, in conclusion, da da da, at last, or finally, just to give them some ideas. I think that's gives them a really good feel for what a story is supposed to be. Coming back to this page, nearby when they actually start, when they're finished with their storyboard, then you're going to give them the larger base plate, the 32 by 32. And so nearby, you wouldn't want this during their little build, like say of Queen Elizabeth. This would come later when they're going to build their story. You want a tub of Legos with just random bricks in it and different elements. So we'll go over what that's going to look like. But as you can see here, there's plants, there's just different kind of colored builds in her little build. So we'll go over that. But it's basically, the minifigure, like little shovels and fire elements and different colored bricks, and really, all just whatever you might have on hand, they'll use it. So this is the class rules that's available in the book. I suggest you just photocopy it, print it in color, and then laminate it, because you're going to use this again and again and again. You might use it for other things in your classroom. It's just a great way to remind the kids of the rules. And that would be, of course, have fun. We always say, are you guys okay with that? Can you have fun? And it gets everybody kind of smiling and, a little bit more comfortable. We really emphasize being kind. So, and we talk a lot about the golden rule, and the golden rule being treat other people how you would like to be treated. And so here we really underline, asking only kind questions. When the person is presenting and they're nervous, reminding kids how they would feel being up there and how it would feel if somebody asked them a not kind question. And you could go over what some of those examples might be versus what's a kind question. That really brings it home, even for little kids. And it's a great reminder for older kids. It's a great reminder for adults, just to be better humans in this world. Being safe, kind of going over things like never ever put Legos in your mouth, because sometimes it's tempting to put them in your mouth to pull them apart. It's not safe. And two, they might be dirty. Just talking about that. You might talk about washing your hands before and after. Being responsible, clean up your space. Don't take your things from other people's and keep your stuff in your space. And being respectful of each other as well. And then applaud. This is the biggest deal about this class, is to applaud each other. So that is a really big deal. And we'll mention that again. So here is this page again, write and draw. Again, beginning, middle, and end. This can be a class on its own ahead of time if you want to spend more time on this, or you want to let them draw it the first few times. You make it as fun as you can, whatever that means. Here we go. And then, this is step by step. This is your 16 by 16 base plate with the listed bricks that are in the teacher notes. And the kids all get when you photocopy it from the book, they're just pictures of each step and the listed bricks to use. And the difficulty level is not very high. I think anybody can do this, whether they've had experience or not. And then they can use that in their story. And here's the story building time. So here's your examples of some of the elements that I think are kids just to have fun with over and over again. Having a slide can add a bit of a stem. I take the slide, things like this, in and out of it, when depending on where they're at, and when I feel like they need a challenge, because the slide can be a bit of a challenge to that's a STEM challenge to implement into their story and make that work. But windows and doors and lots of fencing and random bricks. You'll see here they have plants are always a lot of fun, but it does not have to be like this square up above. This is the house. It doesn't have to be complete walls or a roof, just enough to be able to tell their story. And I think in this little example up there, she's got a broom in the corner, and she's continuing to build. But in the random box where the kids are both reaching in, you'll see there's tubes. There's just a lot of things, and each child gets at least one minifigure. Now, this is where it can get you want to keep an eye on the minifigures because they tend to go home with the kids. So what we've done with some success is to have the kids check out the minifigure so that they're responsible for it. You can have a sheet where they have to sign in when they check it out, and then when they bring it back, that kind of thing, so that there's some level of responsibility. um, but it's an important part of it, I think, to have a minifigure, but keep it really basic. This is not where you're going to put your fancy superhero bricks in or anything like that. This is just the basic bricks with a little baseball hat or some hair. They'll change out the legs and the torso. They're quick with all that, but it's an important part to have at least one to tell their story. But really, any accessories you can find. Fire is a lot of fun. Sometimes you can use the colors of fire, the orange or blue for water, or brown for bricks, or for brown for mountains or other things. It doesn't necessarily have to be these elements. Kids can really make anything out of anything. So, but it just adds to the fun. And do not buy these things new. Don't get them new. Don't spend a ton of money on this. Really, you might send out a request to parents that we're implementing this new thing, and you'll be amazed at how grandparents, neighbors start cleaning out their garage, and you'll just have, before you know it, you'll have more than you know what to do with of bricks. Um, some places where I've had a lot of success in finding used bricks is eBay, especially if you have like a specialized thing you want just plants. Go to eBay and say Lego plants, and you'll get lots of them that'll come up for, don't spend more than, you can get a bag of 20 of them for $10. You can get it, you don't have to spend a lot. Facebook Marketplace in your local area where you can just go and pick it up on a porch pickup and not pay shipping. Another site I really like is Mercari. It's kind of new, but it's really user friendly to buy on. I wouldn't sell anything on there, but you can buy stuff on there. And then I will provide you guys with I just did a blog on how to get started in organizing your bricks, because that can be overwhelming at first. So I want to help you, and we can keep in touch, and I'm here to answer any questions you may have around that, because it's an ongoing discussion. Okay, and then the best part of all is presentation time. So, you going back to your class setup, you've got something that represents a podium in front. The kids understand that that's what they can do. The kids are all kind of in a circle or a horseshoe, or everybody's looking in the same direction. Go over again your rules. Have fun, be kind, be safe, be responsible, respectful. And when we're all done, we're going to applaud each other like crazy. So, the kids will come up with their story. And at first, the first couple of times, they're just going to ramble. It may or may not be the original story. They may just, you don't know. But you just want to get them warmed up to the idea that, okay, you didn't die. And then your friends applauded you. And isn't that fun? And then the next time and the next time, it'll get better and better. So after a while, you can sit with them and say, okay, well, where's the beginning, middle, and end of your story? And have them point into their story and show it that way. But like I said, at first, just let them go. Um, so when they're done, allow for 3 to 5 kind questions. Remind them that they have to raise their hand, let the presenter call on them, that kind of thing. And they'll giggle and laugh. It's a lot of fun. And then when they're all done, then you start the applaud. Oh, yay! So it's a great job. And I fight crying every time. The tears just well up. It's really something. But occasionally you're going to have those kids that are just shy, and they're turning red. They'd rather just run out the door. So let them just sit where they're at. They don't have to. You don't have to. It's okay. and let them just stay there, and then say, is it okay if I just ask you some questions, because your build looks really fun and we want to know what you did there. And then gently ask them questions about it, and pretty soon they'll just start talking, usually. But yeah, don't force them to get in front if they just aren't ready. And as they advance, again, here's that challenge. Give them 3 base plates, beginning, middle, and end, and allow less pieces and no accessories. And that'll be for later, or your older kids. If you've got high schoolers, go for it. This is not just for little guys. This can work really well for high schoolers or even college kids. It's a different kind of creative writing. And you guys, that's kind of it. So here we are. Let's stay in touch. My website is lindakphelps.com, and I'm on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube at Linda K. Phelps, and I have a really fun channel on a TikTok I'm having a lot of fun with that. So it's silly, but I've got a lot of oh gosh, where you speed up your building of builds. Of all of the builds that are in the book, they're all there. I've done videos of building them all, plus some other just crafty stuff that I've used in class. So I hope you'll join me there. And thank you so much for your time. I hope that you enjoyed this. And hopefully I've got your email and a way to get in touch with you. And I will email you the YouTuber that I suggested for stop motion videos, as well as the blog for how to get started in organizing your own Lego bricks for your classroom. All righty, have a wonderful day, and thank you so much. Bye-bye.